Jackie White. I'm here with your real estate market update for August 2023. I usually try to keep these under a minute, but I can't this month. I got a little bit to share, so hang with me. Okay, so we just had our quarterly meeting for Your Castle Real Estate earlier this week. We talked a lot about real estate and what's happening with interest rates, right? And I have the conversation all the time where people say, you know what, I'm waiting for interest rates to come down and then I'm going to go buy a house. Or I'm waiting for this recession to really kick in because then I'm going to get a great deal with all those foreclosures that are going to be out there, right? Well, let me tell you a little bit about what I think might happen. So, interest rates are not what they were at the beginning of the pandemic, right? Remember those 2.5%, 3% interest rates? It was silly. Like, I don't expect to see that ever again in my lifetime. And I certainly don't hope we have a pandemic or some global crisis to bring rates down to that again, right? So we are actually at a 40-year average for mortgage interest rates. But more importantly, right now, that is suppressing some of the demand. So if you're a buyer, it's a great time to get out there and look for a house because you're not competing with all these other buyers like you were 2 years ago, right? And when you go shopping for a house, you're locking in the price and you can always refinance the home. Now, I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, I'm going to get a great deal because interest rates are going to come down and there's going to be a recession and I'm going to get a great price on a house. Well, I have to tell you, there's a lot of economists and organizations out there that follow pricing and modeling. And take a look at this image because it shows the forecasting and what we were seeing for pricing. And all the figures show that the later half of last year, so 2022, you can see those red bars, are when we, I think, hit the dip, right? So we're coming out of that. So if you were to buy something and get a great deal like you thought you were going to get, time has passed, okay? Secondarily, look at this other chart which shows delinquencies. Now, delinquencies on a mortgage is when someone's behind on making their payments. That's a leading indicator that someone is likely to go into foreclosure. And look at the numbers here with the chart. You can see during the recession in 2008, 2009, they were skyrocketing. So we had a lot of people that were delinquent. Now, you can look back to 2020 where we had some delinquencies and there were federal programs, forbearance programs that allowed people to delay some of their payments and get caught up. So all those people are caught up and now look where we are today. We are at the lowest level ever, at least as long as we've been keeping track in terms of delinquencies. So these foreclosures that everyone's waiting for, they're not coming, okay? A lot of people have a ton of equity in their houses. And so even if they do find themselves in a position where someone gets sick, loses his job, or there's some circumstance where they just can't make their payments anymore, if they have the wherewithal, they're going to put the house on the market and they're going to be able to capture that equity and move on with their life. They're not going to go to foreclosure. They're not going to go to bank-owned properties like everyone's expecting. So here's my advice to you. Don't wait, because if you think you need to move, whether it's lifestyle change, family issue, maybe you're growing a family, maybe you're downsizing, maybe you've got a new job in a new city, look for a house. If that is what your family needs and that's where you are in your life, now's the time to look, because you can either pick your poison of a little bit higher interest rate, but you have the option to refinance, or you wait until everybody else is waiting for interest rates to come down and you get caught up in the frenzy of buying a house, right? Like, we don't need to go back to that. It's going to be like March 2020 when everyone was going after the toilet paper and the liquor stores before we went to shut down. We don't need that nonsense again. So if you need a house, buy now. You can always refinance later. If you have any other questions or you want to learn more, on August 25th, it's Friday at noon, I'm going to hold a webinar. I'm going to share a lot more data, a lot more insights, answer your questions. Feel free to sign up. Hope to see you then. Again, that's August 25th, 2023 at noon, online, on Zoom. I'll see you then. Bye.